All right. Hello, everybody. We're in person. Hayden's
Whoa,
off
we're
camera.
back.
I'm here. Shane's here.
Yeah.
Hayden's here.
The gang's back together
And
again
this-
in person.
This is the Triple Threat Show, live from the Triple Threat apartment. It's very exciting. I am Jeremy. What?
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 This is the Triple Threat apartment.
It is the Triple Threat apartment. I am Jeremy, of course, joined by my good friends and co-host Shane and Hayden, who is hiding, figuring out if our sound works or not.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, you can hear us.
That's
all that matters.
That's good enough.
Quality of the audio
Is it bad?
I don't know. I couldn't really hear it, because
We'll
I was
take
just
the
hiding.
U.S. World War strategy. Quantity over quality.
Sure.
The U.S.
The U.S.
Because
Maybe the USSR.
When it came to, I don't want to go on a civil.
No. Let's see.
Let's talk about political
Well,
affairs.
because the U.S. the Tiger was the German tank. That was the model of it. It was like a superior tank, but the U.S. produced so many tanks that it didn't really matter how much better the German tank was. It's just because we had so many U.S. tanks, we were able to overrun them.
And that's what Tiger King's based off of.
Yeah, a German World War II tank.
Yes.
Anyway, this is the Triple Threat Show, and we have some exciting news before our show really begins. And that is we have a new time slot.
Yay! We don't have to watch the show at 12 a.m.
Yeah. Now you can tune in live on WXJM and WXJM.org, 88.7 FM, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
And that's going to be from 4 to 5:30, still on Tuesdays. You no longer have to be awake at midnight.
That's true.
I'd say that's a win.
That's a win for me.
That's a win for our sleep schedule. No longer have to go to bed at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's gonna make Wednesdays a lot easier.
Oh God, yeah.
But
Tuesdays?
no, it's on Tuesday.
Yeah, but waking up for Tuesday.
We wake up Tuesday.
Like I had to miss my stat class so many times because I slept in.
Yeah, see, I'm smart. That's why I'm the brains of the
That's why
operation.
he's the brains of the operation.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not the brains of the operation, Jeremy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was gonna say if he was the brains, man, what are our brains?
Well, I don't know about you, Shane, but I don't consider myself the smartest.
I don't consider myself.
None of us consider ourselves
That's
smart
crazy. Well, I have a
Sorry for
question for you
self-esteem.
guys, yeah?
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, you know how we always start the show off with the JMU Sports Report?
Yeah,
What sport do you want to start with?
men's basketball.
Yeah, that's like the only thing that's happening right now, right?
I mean, if you want it to be.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of just looked at whatever one was at the top of his screen.
Top of my screen is whatever. Men's basketball is the decision.
This is so organized.
That's
Great.
Well, we've done
I have a system here.
I'm glad.
we've
I
done
just
this for
pulled this out of
several
my
months
ass?
now. I hope we would have some level of organization.
I could just pull this out of my ass or something.
I don't know. That'd be kind of hot.
Get away.
Okay.
Don't leave. Come back. Anyway, men's basketball. They finally restarted their season after 2 games were canceled due to COVID.
The great COVID delays.
Of course. And hold on. Before we do this, our lighting is really bad.
Want me to turn on Kyle?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
I want you to. I was gonna just go grab a lamp from.
For those who don't know, Kyle is the name of our lamp. So when we say we have to turn on Kyle, that's what we mean.
Is that better?
think it's better without context. Is that better?
Turn it
Yeah.
off for a second.
Well, they already got the out of context version. So this is Kyle turned on.
Sorry.
We're having trouble turning Kyle off.
Yeah, it's better with.
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
it's always better when Kyle's turned on.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry about that. I was.
Things
really,
are so much better when Kyle's turned on.
I was annoyed
Yeah.
with the lack of lighting.
I mean,
Anyway, where was
I
I?
love Kyle.
Where was I?
Jamie Sports Report basketball.
Men's basketball. Yes, they got their season back going after 2 games in a row. 3 games in a row were canceled or postponed due to COVID. And they went 1-1 last week. The first game after the delay was a loss to Hofstra on Sunday, 87-80.
They lost? Or
They lost. But they followed that up with a win, absolutely demolishing Northeastern on Tuesday, 89-66, improving their record to 10-3 on the season and 1-1 in the CAA.
This Hofstra lost.
Yes, the loss was versus Hofstra.
It's not Ad Hofstra.
No.
Is that a movie?
What?
I think it's a movie, isn't it?
I
It's
don't
like
know.
the space movie.
What is it called?
Ad Hofstra.
I don't think that's a movie, Hayden.
What am I thinking of?
I have no idea what you're thinking of.
Me neither.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we were talking about basketball.
we were, yes. They got 2 games this week. Sunday at William and Mary and Monday at Elon. These are both road games. But my favorite part of this week comes from the rivalry game of Virginia versus Virginia Tech. As we know,
Yeah.
right? JMU
It's well known.
beat Virginia earlier this season, right?
Not a big deal.
Right? So yesterday, Virginia Tech played Virginia in the rivalry game, right? And guess who won that game?
Virginia.
It was Virginia.
That's a
where I
Virginia
came in.
college.
UVA.
Virginia
UVA won.
Virginia won. UVA.
Yeah.
What do you mean it was Virginia
A
College?
Virginia college won.
Oh.
I was hoping you would get that stupid joke.
Yeah, Virginia won,
Yeah.
which by the transitive property makes JMU both the best football and the best basketball team
In the state, yeah.
entire state of Virginia.
Dukes.
So,
Yeah.
that's what's happening. What? What's up? No. What's
I
up?
don't get the joke.
What joke?
A Virginia college won.
Because they're both from Virginia. Both
Oh,
colleges
shit.
in Virginia.
My bad. It's just not funny.
Okay then.
It's funny to me that that's all that matters.
It's fine.
Wow.
I mean, it's only fair because I don't laugh
You don't laugh
half
at
the
anything
jokes
I
that
say.
Aiden says anyway, so it's only fair.
All right. Up
It's great
next.
to have 2 co-hosts who don't get each other's humor.
No, I agree.
What
This
a
is
great idea.
great. This is
Look
the
at
best
us.
show of all time.
It is, yeah. Look at us. Who would have thought?
This is the best show of all time.
It
I don't
is
know
the
what you
best
guys
show
are
of all
complaining
time.
about.
Name one better.
I couldn't
Exactly.
because there's not.
What's next?
What's next? I don't know. Why don't you pick the next sport?
Women's basketball.
Women's basketball, an excellent selection, good sir.
Thank you.
Women's basketball, they went 2-0 last week, improving to 6-7 on the season, 2-0 in conference. And actually, they're on a 3-game winning streak now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so they've turned
coming
their,
back from that rough start.
Right, they've started to turn their season around. On Friday, they won 67-39, absolutely destroying William and Mary. And then on, I didn't write down the name, but I think it's Sunday. On Sunday, they beat Elon 59-57 in a much closer game. A win's a win, though. Win's a win by 1 or 100, you know. This week, they got 2 games. Sunday at Towson and Tuesday at Delaware. So,
Good luck to them.
yeah, these are both road games. All the basketball teams are on the road right now. I don't think
still
you're.
gotta go see it. Well, I still have to go see a basketball seat.
We should go to the dude. Those basketball games are so much fun.
Yeah.
They're a lot of
Have
fun.
Time.
They're so much fun.
I'm done.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna do it soon. All of us. We'll have a live triple threat.
Wow.
Show in the stadium.
Live reactions.
Live reactions. Yeah, that'll be
We
great.
have to record the show like courtside.
Courtside show.
Courtside show.
Courtside show.
It'll be like Fox. You know how like they have like the NBA courtside or whatever. Is that Fox? Is that even a thing?
I don't
Am I
know.
imagining something?
That sounds like a real thing.
That sounds like a real thing.
All right. Anyway, I don't think you guys are gonna guess any of the other sports, so I'm just gonna move on to football.
Men's soccer.
Men's soccer. We'll get to that in a second. We'll move on to some football. You know, we talked about it for a while, but that's their season is done now. But All American stuff is pouring in. We talked a little bit.
There's still more?
No, it's done now.
Okay.
All the All American lists have come
I was
out.
gonna say if we're thinking another All-American
Yes.
announcement on
All of the All American lists have officially come
Okay.
out now. So we're done with that.
okay.
But there's one person on the Duke's roster who was a consensus All-American.
Yeah.
And this is where this comes in, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
A
So this is the one
consensus
that
All-American.
matters. Yeah.
and I think you know where this is going. Hayden, who was the consensus All-American?
Cole Johnson.
Yeah? No? Are you serious?
No. It's our boy Ethan.
Yeah, it's Ethan
Okay.
Radke. Ethan Radke was the consensus All-American on the JMU Dukes football team. So, congratulations to him.
Yep.
And guess what, Shane? There's no more All-American lists.
Thank God.
There are no more All-American
At least
lists.
we found one that's the most credible, the consensus All-American.
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
saying that he was on every single one of them.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the most credible source we got so far out of the other 5 or whatever that we had to go through.
Yeah. And as Hayden mentioned, there was some soccer news. Tyler Clegg, excellent defender, was named the Defensive Player of the Year in Virginia, in the entire state of Virginia, along with 4 other Dukes named to all-state teams. 2 more being named to the first team, and 2 others being named to the second team. And that actually ties Virginia Tech for the most named to any team.
So we also have the best soccer team.
Yeah, we're just the best at
Yeah.
sports. Like, it's not even close.
Woo!
And still pissed about the league that shall not be named who didn't want them to play in the
We don't have to worry
playoffs.
about them. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Not really.
Still mad, just still pissed.
Yeah, so all the hold on. That was last week. All state teams came out. So for field hockey, Zwager and Rejem.
Is it
Remeshne.
Zwager or Zwagger?
I don't know. I thought
You say the moves like Swagger,
It moves like Zwagger. It's more fun to say though.
all right.
but I think it's wait.
Either way, both of them were named to the all-state team, first team. They both had awesome seasons. We talked about both
Yeah.
of them ad nauseum. It's 2 words. It's like
That's a
Latin.
2-word.
It's like Latin. It's 2 words.
That's a 2-word.
Okay. In women's soccer, Wiseman was named to the second team All-State. She had a really good season. She had 11 points, 4 goals, 7 assists. And finally, in some softball news, Ford, JMU graduate, was the one JMU graduate named to the U.S. softball women's national team. So congratulations to her.
Not this again.
Sorry, we got a bit. We got to keep going.
Anyway, Shane,
On to hockey news.
you want to do some hockey?
Oh, I would love to.
Okay, let's do it.
So first off, we'll start off with Tuukka Rask is making his debut tonight. First game of the season. He signed a 1-year, $1 million contract. He stated he wouldn't play for any team besides the Boston Bruins. He was injured, and he finally rehabbed his injury, and he's back. It's currently 3-2 Boston, I believe, and he looks, he doesn't look too bad, doesn't look too rusty. Yet he hasn't really been challenged a lot this game. It's just there's several bad chances on the breakaway, but he's looking fine so far.
All right.
And then we were talking about this a bit earlier. If they planned on having Tuukka Rask back, I wonder why they didn't get a cheaper goalie in free agency.
What do you mean?
So they signed Linus Ullmark to a 4-year, $20 million contract. So that's $5 million per year.
Right.
So
It's a lot.
that's a lot of money. And if you're planning on having Tuukka Rask be your starter again, then why put all that money into that tandem? Is it because? And then what are you going to do with Swayman? Because he's a young up-and-coming goalie.
Well, they signed. They'll send him back down to the AHL,
Yeah.
and they signed Tuukka Rask to like a really cheap deal.
Yeah.
It's like an incentive-laden deal, but it's a really cheap deal. You know.
It's just like, what's the long-term option with Tuukka?
Well, Tuukka's not the long-term option.
Yeah.
No,
but it's
he's
just, I just wonder how many seasons he's going to play. Like, is he going to play next season, or is this his last season?
Do you know what the contract was? I know it was like for $1 million,
For
but
Tuukka?
yeah,
Yeah, it's 1 year.
1 year, right?
Yeah, so
So I'm sure it's going to be a Ryan Zimmerman situation where he'll just keep coming back, or Larry Fitzgerald. They'll keep re-signing him to a 1-year deal as long as he wants to play. You know?
gotcha.
And then they also have those 2 goalies as a backup long term, because they're the option. They're the long-term option, those 2.
Gotcha. It's just, I don't know, you could have, I guess they wanted a guaranteed bona fide starter, for the next 3 to 4 years.
Right, and they
because
also
don't
didn't-
know what's going on with Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, they didn't even know who was going to come back this season.
Yeah,
Then you can't run with like a placeholder if you don't know
Yeah.
they're coming back.
because they're still a contending
they
team.
wanted to
They still
contend.
want to
They
win.
had to
yeah.
sign someone. It
That's
wasn't.
a very,
yeah.
very good point. It's just, God, I love this guy. It's just, I grew up watching him, and I will always remember that series against the Pittsburgh Penguins where he just shut Pittsburgh out. Like, they swept Pittsburgh because the Penguins, Crosby, Malkin, they could not score on Tuukka. And he's definitely been one of the best goalies of this past decade. He's up there with Henrik Lundqvist. And I just love to see this guy come back. And he's got one of the most fun names to pronounce.
Tuukka Rask.
Tuukka Rask. Took. You can hear it like in the Boston games whenever he makes a save. The crowd yells, Took. Speaking of more players coming back, Evgeny Malkin played his first game of the season and scored a goal against the Anaheim Ducks.
Scored 2 goals.
Scored 2 goals.
He scored 2 goals.
Yeah. I know he scored at least once.
Just against the Ducks.
I know, that's why I'm shaking my head.
That's why you're
Yeah.
shaking your head. Quack quack.
Quack,
Again,
quack,
this
baby.
Penguins team continues to prove me wrong. I feel like I've been jinxing a lot of teams because I had Islanders winning the division. They look nowhere close to the playoffs. I had Pittsburgh outside of playoffs, and they're just killing it now that everyone's healthy again. So good for Malkin. Penguins look scary. This team is just finally healthy, and it's just everything's clicking.
Yeah, like teeth and stuff. Imagine a penguin with teeth.
They got teeth. Have you ever seen them hunt fish? They're
No.
lethal in the water. They're lethal.
They're lethal. In the
Lethal.
water.
They're also lethal on the ice too.
Mm-hmm. Snipers.
Yeah. Another player expected to make his return soon is Jack Eichel. He's practicing with the team now, full contact, and he's expected to return sometime in February.
That's
And
good.
with the salary cap situation, it's very – you don't want to ever wish injuries upon a player, but Vegas got lucky that Max Pacioretty got put on long-term IR because that still makes them cap compliant for now with Jack Eichel's huge contract. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with that cap situation because they need to make a move at the deadline to stay cap
Okay, I was going to say,
unless
they
or they'll have to send somebody down.
Well, I think that's the easy option.
Yeah.
He'll just send a bunch of depth pieces down.
Yeah, you'll have to send up somebody.
they'll
with
have
a
to send
big
depth
contract.
pieces down either way just to make room on the roster for these people.
You have to make room for the salary cap.
Is he coming back quicker than he thought, though? That's my question.
Yeah, because one of his comments was, I can't believe I waited this long for the surgery just to have like the rehab process go this smoothly.
Okay, because
So-
I remember like it was talking about like how he wouldn't be back until like the postseason.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's back a little bit earlier than expected.
Well, it's almost
Because the
The midway
rehab,
point.
because the surgery he wanted, it would have been a quicker rehab process than the disc fusion,
Mm-hmm.
which would have came with more issues, long-term consequences, and longer rehab, which again, if you're Buffalo, it's a surgery that's potentially quicker for him to come back from and better for him in the long-term health. So why it's still the whole Buffalo thing I didn't understand.
It's Buffalo,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the Pagulas,
the suburbs.
the ghouls for a reason.
Yeah.
Ghoul.
Speaking of weird
I find that's their
decisions, speaking of weird decision making, Evander Kane.
Oh, we love the man.
Yeah. So he also broke another COVID protocol. So
Yeah.
so he violated AHL protocol. He tested positive and then proceeded to travel to Canada
Mhm.
is the gist of it. And then the Sharks have clearly had enough of this guy, so they're putting him on waivers for a contract termination
Yep.
for violating COVID protocols.
Yeah, I mean, he is by far our favorite AHL player of all time. You said the Edmonton Oilers were interested in picking up his
Yeah.
contract.
But it may be a bit
his
because
contract or just when he gets
signing
released?
him.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if they buy out his contract, he doesn't have a contract anymore.
Well, I was gonna
So-
say,
He filed a grievance with the NHLPA, though, saying that the Sharks do not have the right. They didn't have the justification to buy him out because of this violation of COVID protocol.
Do
Is
they-
it
But it's like,
bankrupt?
reason to buy
Doesn't
CCL?
he need the money?
yeah, so because if the San Jose Sharks buy him out, he loses a significant portion of his contract that he has left. Like he
Mhm.
loses a lot of money.
Got
So
it.
that's why he's filing this grievance, because he needs to retain as much money as possible to pay off his debt.
So what's like the difference between just buying him out than releasing him? Is that like just
Oh,
you
so-
need a reason to buy him out?
So yeah, because due to this specific form of buyout, the Sharks don't have to give him as much money.
Got it. Understood.
If they just straight out bought him out, they would have to give him like 60%, or I don't know what the exact percentage is, but they have to give him a larger portion of his remaining money he was owed, because he still has a few years left at like $7.5 million.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Yeah.
When you said buyout, I was like, I mean, he should be happy then he can go sign with another team for what the league minimum and still make a ton of money. But
So Edmonton, Ken Holland has reported that he's talked to Evander Kane's agent, and with how badly things are going in Edmonton right now and the lack of depth scoring, it is interesting to see that they're willing to take a risk with Evander Kane. Like that's so much desperation when you're willing to put up with his antics just to add some scoring depth to your team.
Well, Evander Kane, as we've said before,
Super talented.
is very, very good at hockey.
Yeah. Like last season, he led the Sharks in points and goals.
Right. It's the old adage, be who you can afford to be.
Exactly.
And he is pushing that. A good comparison is someone like Antonio Brown. Be who you can afford to be. This man got away with way too much,
Yeah.
and he pushed it too far. We're kind of seeing that with Evander Kane right now.
But personally, I would love to see him sign in Edmonton just because I want to continue to see this shit show. Or if he finds some way to turn it around, if he starts to light it up, if he plays with McDavid, it'd be cool to see how that would turn out if he signed with Edmonton.
I mean, a Kane redemption arc would be pretty fun.
It would be fun. And just seeing, because Edmonton needs depth scoring. And he is definitely a legit goal scorer. So he would be a good fit in Edmonton if it didn't come with the asterisks of all the drama he brings with him.
Right. I mean,
I'm
he'd
sure
be a
he
good
could-
fit in a lot of places.
Oh, yeah. Any team would love to have Evander Kane.
You know where he'd be a really good fit, actually?
Where?
The San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, unfortunately, that locker room hates him. So
I mean, we don't know that. He's never played there before. He hasn't played there all season. We don't know
Yeah,
that.
allegedly, the locker room hates him. I probably should put that out there.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I think that's a very important part.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can't be getting sued for slander here, a tiny little show.
Yeah, that Evander
Yeah.
Kane watches.
I mean,
Evander Kane's our biggest fan.
I don't blame him. We talk about him all the time.
Because we're his biggest fans.
We love Evander Kane here.
Yeah.
We're big Evander Kane lovers. This is a big Evander
Yeah.
Kane show.
Another person I love is Matthew Boldy of the Minnesota Wild. He's sorry.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how if I rearrange those letters, it spells Evander Kane, but it doesn't work.
So the first round pick of the Minnesota Wild, he scored his first NHL goal against his hometown team, the Boston Bruins. So good for him. Hopefully he has a great career with the Minnesota Wild. Also wears number 12, so he's just living my dream right now.
Wearing number 12.
For the Minnesota Wild.
I could do that for you. I could.
Yeah, gosh, you give me one second.
I have a white shirt and a Sharpie. I could let you wear number 12.
For the Minnesota Wild.
I could.
Scored the game-winning goal from his home team. He went to Boston. I can't remember if he went to Boston College or Boston University, but he definitely played for one of those teams.
What are you
And it was just a
doing?
good thing to see. I had to bring up the.
Hayden, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Hayden's playing with aluminum foil. We'll figure out what he's doing later.
Yeah. Did you see that Kodak Black GIF?
No.
The
What did he
Florida
do? I
Panthers game?
saw a reference doing something on the hockey game. What did he do?
So there was a video of him from across the rink. So he had the suite, right?
Right?
And it looks like he's Okay, I'm just gonna put it bluntly. It looks like he's doing a girl doggy in the booth. From where it was at, it looked like he was having sex in the booth.
Of course.
But it apparently he wasn't actually having sex. It's just the girl was just twerking on him real hard.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's just still so.
Is that supposed to be a 2?
Yeah.
Get in front of the camera. Guys, Shane's dream has come true.
He's number 12.
He's wearing number 12.
I don't understand you guys sometimes, or most of the time.
I'm glad we can make your dreams come true, Shane.
You guys are so weird.
That's a clip for those Instagram right there,
Yeah.
baby.
Anyway.
So it's just that happens. It's just that is, yeah. That's.
Okay. Anyways,
Sorry.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Kodak Black.
Kodak Black
Right.
getting twerked on.
Yeah.
What a guy.
What a great time.
What a great time.
It's just why they're
Why not
Kodak's
there?
dreams came
why,
true.
yeah.
Your
Yeah.
dreams came true.
Living his best life after getting released from prison.
And
And
that's all you can ask for in life.
Yep. Well, I could ask for better things like better NHL All-Star rosters.
Ooh, what a transition!
Dude, this is why we keep him around for his transitions.
Good
Yeah.
transition.
This is why I'm still around.
That's why we haven't evicted you
So
yet.
first off, Brad Marchand got absolutely snubbed.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just he has like 10 more points than Marchand. He's over a point per game. He has more goals. And
Sorry, Brad Marchand has 10 more points than who?
Patrice Bergeron.
Okay.
Patrice Bergeron made it in over him.
His teammate.
His
Yeah.
teammate, yeah.
He said more than Marchand, so I had to.
Yeah, sorry, I keep on doing
No, you're
that.
good. I think
So-
that's.
And it's just he's been tearing it up this season, and they put in Bergeron over him. He's clearly the best player on the team, and he got snubbed from this All-Star roster. He didn't even make it to the voting. They put in Charlie McAvoy. Like, granted, Charlie McAvoy, one of the best defensemen in the
He's
league.
pretty good at hockey.
Yeah, but it's just how is Marchand? He's one of the best players in that division and in the league, and how is he not up there? Another complaint I have is like, how is Roman Josi not on?
He's on the final, whatever.
Yeah, he's on the vote-in, but it's just the guy should already be on the list. Like, how many defensemen have over a point per game
I don't know.
besides Cale Makar and Adam Fox?
That's 2 more.
Yeah, it's just those are so rare. They are so hard to come by. Like, I would have him as an MVP candidate because he's like the heart and soul of that team besides Josi Saros. It's just if he's injured, that team is gone. Like, he is such a big part of that team. And he should be on there already. Like, Josi Saros, again, you have to have a player from every team. And he's a great choice. He's having a phenomenal season, doesn't have a calendar season. But you got to have this guarantee. If he stays healthy, he's a Norris Trophy candidate at the end of the season. A few other players. Nazem Kadri, he should be in it. He's fit. I think he's 5th place right now in points. If Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar weren't in the division, he should be in it. He's in the voting though, so at least he could get in that way. But he really should be in the All-Star game. The Pacific Division only has 1 defenseman, Alex Pietrangelo,
Right.
and he hasn't really had. He's doing fine, but there's Quinn Hughes is available. He's a good defenseman. He
Shouldn't
should be
they
in it.
have at least 2 defensemen on their team? That feels like an oversight.
Well, I looked at the roster and I didn't. I only Alex.
No,
Pietrangelo
I
was a defenseman.
completely believe you.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're building a hockey roster, you should have more than 1 defenseman.
Yeah, that's why it was weird when I saw he was and the Central's the same way. They only have Cale Makar as the defenseman right now.
Only goalies. Gotta bring it back.
I agree.
Yeah, only goalies.
Goalies only.
Like Shea Theodore, teammate of Alex Pietrangelo on the Vegas Golden Knights. He's having a really good season too. Super talented player. Like, why not let him have his first NHL All-Star game?
Because there's already a Vegas guy there.
Yeah. But I'm like, switch him out. Shea Theodore is such a talented defenseman. He would be fun to see at the All-Star game. Troy Terry also didn't get in it.
Quack quack. Oh,
Yeah. Sad quack quack.
sad.
Quack quack. Troy
Thank you,
Terry's
Shane.
phenomenal
That was
season.
amazing.
That was really good.
That was
That was like 10 out of 10.
Sad
that
Dolphins.
fulfills my dreams.
Me.
Jeremy, we really got you left now.
Oh, my dreams have already been fulfilled.
What's that?
To have this show with you guys.
Aw.
Yeah.
So Troy Terry, he's not in it. He's in the voting though. One of the best player on the Ducks this season so far. Stamkos is not in it. He's in the voting. They have Mark Stone in over Chandler Stevenson.
Well, Mark Stone's
Yeah.
pretty good at hockey.
Mark Stone is yes, he definitely deserves to be there. I just think Chandler Stevenson should have been in there over him because he's been healthy all season and he's almost at a point per game. And I just want to see guys who haven't been in there before. And again, your best ability is availability. And since Chandler Stevenson has been healthy this entire season, I would love to see him in this All-Star game.
It's fair.
It's insane that he used to be on the Caps. He was like a fourth.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he was like a bottom 6 guy on the Caps, and they traded him to Vegas for a 7th round pick. And now he's there, arguably their best center.
I'd say the
this
Caps
season.
won that trade.
They're gonna draft a stud with that 7th round pick.
Of course they are. Look at all those. Look at these guys in the 7th round. Tom Brady went in the 6th round.
Troy Terry was a 5th round pick.
Are you kidding me? 7th round? What kind of gems are in there?
No, Patrick Hornquist was a 7th round pick.
Exactly. He's pretty
He
good.
I
scored
don't know
the
who that is.
he scored the
He's on the
game-winning goal
Florida
for
Panthers.
Pittsburgh in one of their Stanley Cups. And
I could do that.
Joe Pavelski was a 7th round pick.
There you go. He's also very good at hockey.
I'm better.
Dude, Hayden's elite.
Yeah, at every sport.
One day we just gotta have a video where it's just me playing sports.
Get a video of you ice skating.
With a stick, shooting a puck,
Hmm.
all of it. We'll do one-on-one, Jim.
Yeah, sure. I would love to do one-on-one with you.
I'll cross you up.
You won't even believe the tricks I'm about to pull off.
Just take the stick. Gone.
No, I was gonna go under him. Just skate under between his legs.
Right.
That's how we do it here.
Do a little tuck and roll.
That's how we do it here.
If I don't have a broken ankle by the end of this.
Nah. Only
Yeah,
you.
I'll break it.
That's all I have for my all-star complaints.
That's it?
That's it. You don't have a reason why you don't like the all-star.
Do you
Well, I'm not a
all-star
huge fan
voting
of
in
the
general?
all-star game in general, just because it's no one cares.
Dude, have you seen those skill competitions? That's so much fun.
Yeah, it's not something I care for. I just want to see it's just with the goal, especially this year, it just feels pointless to have an all-star game because the season is already behind as is. I don't think they're going to be able to fit an 82 game schedule in, even though they so badly want to.
Yeah. 82-game season. Even if they badly want to. And number 12.
Should I let you guys do what you're doing?
No,
I
keep
just wanna be
going.
Number 12.
And it's just, we're trying to get all these games in. Why not just keep playing games and finish out this season like you were planning to instead of having this all-star break?
Because you need an all-star break. Otherwise, the players will get hurt, and everyone needs a break.
Yeah.
We all need breaks, Shane.
And it gives you time to. I mean, they already had it planned into the schedule for the Olympics. Keep it.
I just don't. It's just, I feel like the priority should be finishing the 82 game season.
I don't. I think the players need a break. I think it's much better
Yeah,
for
so-
player safety and health.
Yeah, 100%. But when you're the NHL and you keep on prioritizing, hey, we should have an 82 game season, and you keep on having these delays, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
I mean, you could.
You have to get all these games in, and it's just, if you're going to say, hey, we're going to try to finish out, have a relatively normal regular season, then why just have this all-star game?
Because I think a lot of because all-star games I feel typically are very much social media gold mines.
Yeah.
and it's very much about growing the game, which is something the NHL has a massive problem with.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to get that done.
And so if you have all these all-stars playing together, get some mic'd up content at the all-star game, boom,
Yeah.
you got 20 TikToks right there.
yeah, Alex Ovechkin speaking in Russian.
Yeah.
I'm sure
It's just
people would love
usually
that.
I don't like.
I mean, you can put the subtitles.
Whenever I watch,
Okay, we're not.
Make people learn Russian.
whenever I watch the All-Star game, it's not that appealing to me.
Dude, the skills competition though.
But it's just it's the same thing every year.
Well, then make new skills.
Yeah.
You go invent a hockey skill and tell them to do it.
Develop
Yeah.
new rules.
But that's what the NHL doesn't do. The most entertaining All-Star game was when they had John Scott in it. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah. That's the thing. It was the most memorable All-Star game, and you guys never heard of it.
Well, because I don't generally watch the hockey All-Star game.
I don't-
Exactly.
I
don't
generally
even
watch the skill. I watch the skill competition, and that's it.
Yeah.
What is hockey?
What is hockey?
That's an excellent question.
So John Scott. So do you know how they had the All-Star fan vote?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the NHL community voted in this fourth line fighter guy, and the NHL was pissed. They tried to give this guy a ton of money to not be to be an All-Star captain of his division,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Fuck you guys! I got voted in. I am going to be in this All-Star thing." And so it was in the All-Star competition. He did really well, and it was just funny to see this guy who should not be there at all just score these goals and just be with the best players in the league. It was just a fun story to watch. And now he's got a podcast like everyone else does. And
We got a podcast.
Well, we have a podcast.
Kinda. It's a radio show.
It's a radio show.
yeah, so he's made a name for himself. But that was the most entertaining All-Star game.
Yeah.
And then it's just I'm just bored with it. And I think the priority should be just finishing the 82-game season.
Okay,
Oh,
that's an opinion.
Yeah.
I think the All-Star game is fun.
I think it's always fun. Gotta have the fun. Give the players a break. Make some money.
Make some money.
You know what else makes money?
What makes
Finishing
money?
the 82-game season.
You know what makes more money? Having more eyes on your sport.
Yeah, but the All-Star game doesn't attract more fans.
It definitely attracts more fans than
Well,
just
because
a random
it doesn't.
random Canadians versus Columbus Blue Jackets game.
Well, it's not going to attract any new fans because the only people who watch the All-Star game are people who are more current fans. Or unless you're the city they hosted in, maybe that's a way to attract fans. But it's not really a great way of expanding the game, in my opinion.
What's the best way to expand the game then?
Finishing the 82-game season.
Making it more affordable.
Making the game more affordable? You can't do that. That's
You
not
can't do
that's
that
not how
today.
supply and demand works.
I think
How do you get more
Well, yeah,
eyes on the
because
sport?
if you make the sport cheaper, you increase the supply.
Jay, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not what's gonna happen. That's the one thing that's not gonna happen.
you have to make content. Everything's nowadays is social media and I don't know. MLB, what they do really good is they have this mic'd up series where they just mic up two players in a game, and then they'll just upload the highlights of them being mic'd up throughout the game.
Yeah.
And there's just always funny stuff. There was a really good Josh Harrison one. You love me some Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison.
You're Josh Harrison. My favorite one was Ty France and Vlad Jr.
That was a good one.
Vlad Jr. was
He's gotta hit a double, I gotta run.
and I'm gonna run and I'm gonna score from first.
Yeah.
And then he did it,
Yeah.
and it was just amazing. And then Ty France, made a joke about it and all that, and it was great. And that's what they need to do. And you have the biggest stars playing from every team in the All-Star game, and so you just do that.
They should mic up the guy on the Coyotes. What was his name again?
Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller. I want to hear more about Clayton Keller.
I want an hour-long Clayton Keller mic'd up video.
No,
Dude,
that's the issue, though. It's
I
just
want a
the-
Clayton Keller biopic right now.
It's just the
Right now,
NHL.
put it on the TV.
Whenever the NHL mics up players, it's just nothing really appealing to me.
Okay, well then they need to mic up the better players, the funnier
Yeah.
players.
Like Clayton Keller.
Okay, so sure, Ovechkin. I think Ovechkin's pretty funny, but you find the entertaining players. You don't get Joe Schmo who just is good, but he's just a brick wall.
Yeah.
You get the funny guys. Josh Harrison isn't the best player in the league by any stretch of the imagination, but he's funny
Yeah.
and he's charismatic, and that's what you
Yeah.
need. for your mic'd up stuff. And if Clayton Keller is that guy, mic up Clayton Keller.
Clayton
Hey.
Keller doesn't seem like that guy.
Hashtag we want Clayton Keller.
We want him.
We want Clayton Keller.
Trade for him. Come on. Quack, quack, baby.
Quack, quack.
What time is it?
Well, the money thing is
Well,
just a story for another time. Making the sport more affordable. That's
Affordable.
That was what I was
affordable.
saying.
That's a tangent for another
I
time.
thought we were going to just do it. Speed run the transition.
Why would we speedrun transitions?
I don't know. It'd be funny.
Okay. You got hockey stuff?
That's pretty much the end of it.
Pretty much what it is the end of
Pretty
it.
much?
That's the end of it.
That's the end of it? All right, Hayden, I have a question for you.
What's your question?
Was there anything cool that happened in baseball this week?
No.
No, nothing cool. Was there anything important that happened in baseball this week?
Yeah, there was some important stuff. The MLB and the MLBPA met because, as we all know, there's
Baseball
a lockout.
is locked out.
It's locked out. Hashtag it.
Hashtag
Hashtag
locked out.
unlock it.
Hashtag turn that key.
So there's a lockout.
Right?
And there's a couple things that the MLB proposed, right?
Sure.
They were like, yo, let's give arbitration guys more money. But they still want to have the formula system.
What is that?
So like kind of based off like how much WAR you accrue.
So it's like tiered based on how good you are.
Yeah. But it's like set. It's very set in stone. Like there's no like negotiations that happen, which is what happens now. And so like, and it kind of, messes up relievers, right?
Sure.
Because it does not allow relievers at all to make any money because relievers typically don't accrue much WAR just based off of how WAR is calculated.
I don't really like the sound of that because isn't value subjective based off the organization?
Yeah, that too. I mean,
that's why I
there's
should have negotiations.
and so the way like current arbitration works is they take this like the stats and the performance that you put up, and then they compare that to previous players, and then they negotiate based off that. And it's kind of like, oh, you're just like George Springer, right? And George Springer, like you had the same year as George Springer's first year of ARB, and George Springer made this much money, and it's been this many years, and here's blah, 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 this much inflation. We think you're worth like this much. And the player's like, I think I'm worth $1 million more. And then they can either meet in the middle. If they can't meet and agree, then they go to an arbiter, and then the arbiter decides which one. And I feel like that's just better for the player, which is all we really want in sports.
Hey, we're big player supporters here.
Yeah, pro player.
We're pro player here.
I keep doing the hashtag thing now. They also proposed reward teams for not doing service time manipulation.
Okay.
By giving them an extra draft pick if they win Rookie of the Year or an MVP or Cy Young in the next 3 years after they get put on the roster.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think teams are still going to
Well,
probably.
of course, they're going to manipulate because
They're gonna do more
It's not worth it
No, that's not.
because you're more than likely not going to have one of those
It depends
things
on the
happen.
draft pick too.
Yeah.
It's more just helps like the top prospects. It doesn't help those like pretty good, not great prospects.
Well,
Yeah. It has to be a top 100 prospect too. So, if you're not like a top 100 prospect, but you're just outside there, you're 101. You're the 101st prospect according to MLB Pipeline, and they manipulate your service time and you turn into like the greatest player of all time. It doesn't help you at all.
so all this stuff
It's just
seems
that-
good and then it's masked in bad.
Yeah.
I just don't like because isn't the 100 best prospects? That's again another subject. Like each team has.
It's MLB Pipeline's own list, which is MLB's like it's a parent company. MLB's a parent company for MLB Pipeline. So it's just like then that's just the owners. Like it's just kind of
sketchy.
It's like when
Yeah.
the MLB network's like, man, these players are so like what's the word? Greedy. It's like that's a direct thing coming from MLB and the MLB's the owners, really.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And then
slimy.
the last big part of it was they wanted to institute a draft lottery.
I like draft lotteries.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not really a difference for me. I think it doesn't really.
It
Well,
stops.
how
It
does
stops
the-
tanking.
How does
I
the
don't know.
draft lottery work? Like, which teams are going to be eligible for it?
I didn't
which
see
picks?
that come out. The original one that he proposed was, I think, the first 3 picks
All
or
right.
first 5.
So
It
if
was a
I
very
were,
small pool.
again, I didn't do research into this, but if I were to guess, I don't know if you know how basketball system works, where you get more
Balls.
little balls in the machine, depending the worse you did,
Yeah.
right? So you have a higher chance, but you
Yeah.
could still, and they do it at the top 10
Yeah.
for that. So
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, I'm not gonna I don't think you can really have a stance on the draft lottery until you see how their system works.
right,
Because if it's like, oh, the top 3 teams, that doesn't really like hinder tanking.
no,
It kind of just like makes it the same. But if it's like, oh, the top 10 teams, okay, we're getting somewhere. And it's like, oh, and every year that you're in the top 10, you lose a certain a ball.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now we're actually getting somewhere. But
I the only thing I like about the draft lottery is like you're not guaranteed the first overall pick.
right,
So like you actually have to like, so if there's like this generational prospect, you can't just like trade everyone away and like create the shittiest team possible because it's not guaranteed.
I mean, but it gives you the best chance.
It gives you the best chance, but again, it's not
guaranteed.
right.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get situations like with Connor McDavid, like Buffalo was projected to get him because he had the highest likelihood, but due to the draft lottery, Edmonton got him. And so now you end up with Edmonton getting McDavid, and then
Is there a
Buffalo's
G in Edmonton?
Edmonton?
Is there a G in
No, I
Edmonton?
thought it was Edmonton.
I'm pretty sure it's Edmonton. I saw it written on your paper, Edmonton, and I heard you. I just kept hearing that G,
If
and
there's,
I was like,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Edmonton.
yeah,
with a
you're
D.
you're right. It's just it's a very bad habit of mine,
He's
and
Canadian.
I'm very bad with names.
No, it's fine.
It's because he's Canadian.
I was just like, hold on. I thought maybe you made me feel like, holy shit. Wait, what? Hold on. Shane's the one that knows this stuff. What am I going insane?
I make mistakes.
No, you
We're all
don't. You're
human.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're perfect. Absolute 10 out of 10. I mean, look at those arms.
Yeah, look at those
We
arms.
just-
I mean, like,
I'm sorry.
I mean, look at this man. Look at this man.
Why am I on this show?
Because you love us.
Yeah, you love us.
That's why you're talking about how you're so happy to be back
Yeah,
here.
you missed
I
us.
was happy to be back.
Remember, you said you missed us.
I may regret those words
It's okay.
for now.
I know you still regret when you told me that you loved me.
It's because I was out of pity because you said, "Oh, I love you, Shane." I'm like, "Yeah, he said it a lot. Should I say it back just to?"
Who's getting a phone call?
It's Shane.
Oh.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Oh,
The draft lottery.
yeah, draft
we
lottery.
don't care about that. John Lester,
John Lester.
3-time World Series champion, 5-time All-Star, won 200 games. He retired.
16-year career.
17, I thought.
17, 16.
A lot of years.
A lot of years. He was there for a long time. He's 38 years old.
He retired. Then he go back to the Cubs. I thought he was gonna go back to the Cubs for get a
One-day contract.
Yeah, essentially a 1-day contract. But he didn't.
Is that how not that he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but is that how the Hall of Fame works in the MLB? Do you choose a team you were on?
It's typically the best, the peak of your career and or however the team you spent the most time on.
Right. No, because I know in some sports, whatever team you choose is the team you retired with.
Mhm.
That's not how it is in football, but a lot of players that want to be remembered as a certain team will go sign a 1-day contract before they retire.
There's never really any 1-day contracts. I think the closest thing to that was Ichiro in 2019. He played the Japan. They had a Japan series. The Mariners did, and so he went and played in Japan with the Mariners, and then he retired. And apparently, a bunch of the Mariners didn't know he was going to be retiring, and so they were all really confused when he started walking off the field. Like, oh wait, is he gone now? But yeah, John Lester had a great career. Probably not a Hall of Famer. Hall of very good guy, but he'll be on the ballot.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
That's a new one I like.
Yeah, no, I mean, in
Yeah.
baseball, like, it's so hard to get into the Hall of
It's
Fame.
very
Yeah.
hard.
It's almost impossible. I mean, that's a topic for another day, but yeah. And a lot of fun things happened. The first woman manager was hired for the minor leagues by the Yankees.
Good for them.
And honestly, she is so overqualified for that position.
Okay.
She should be on a major league roster.
All right.
But just because the fact that like no one's ever hired a woman
yeah.
for like a head coach or just any of like the top assistant coaches in the big leagues, that's just kind of her starting point. She's gonna climb up the ladder. She was with Driveline, which is like one of the more analytical training groups out there. Has like 3 degrees and like a massive background in biomechanics. Like, yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah.
Hey, just got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. And then in an Australian
Go on that point. When you started that, and you're like, to be honest, like I couldn't tell. Like this is either about to be really bad or really good.
No,
like she's either gonna be like what you said, or she's gonna be like, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna go in that direction.
I mean, there's gonna be players.
There's gonna be
players who feel that way very much. It's it's baseball,
and then
that is
misogyny and all that.
I mean, baseball and misogyny. It's kind of There's a lot of baseball players who are very.
There's a lot of people in sports in general.
Yeah, but yeah, similar theme. A 17-year-old girl pitched in the Australian Pro Baseball League and threw a scoreless inning.
Woo!
That was pretty fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
We love that.
yeah.
We love to see it.
17. There was a lot of a lot of the people were like, yeah, no, she's gonna probably go play in like the minors, at least in the minors in the United States. Which, I mean, that's never really happened before. Like, really good, and like she just knows how to pitch. Like that's like it's just the mindset is there.
Yeah.
Where I mean, she doesn't have the best stuff in the world, but she can just pitch.
Yeah,
and so good for her.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
I'm trying to look. And
what was her name?
I don't even.
He just
remember.
said he didn't say a name.
I
You can look it up. You got your fancy computer over there.
Your fancy computer. My phone's almost dead, so I'm just like half glancing at my notes.
Anything else?
Yeah. Top prospect for the Orioles. One of the best prospects in baseball right now.
The catcher dude?
Adley Rutschman.
Okay.
They're trying to give him an extension before he even plays a big league game. It's worked out for some teams. The White Sox with Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert. Or Robert.
Genevieve
Beacon?
Beacom. Yeah.
Genevieve Beacon. Congrats.
Beacon. Awesome.
She's playing college ball in the United States.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, she's 17, so like not even in college yet. In pitching in pro baseball.
That is, it's just.
I mean, it's not like minor league baseball, but it's.
Well, that's like so many.
Yeah.
Barriers. Like it's
for
female,
sure.
17 playing professional in Australia. That's just.
Yeah.
And then doing well on top of that. Like that's just.
Yeah. Love to see it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd probably still talk about the story even if she didn't throw a scoreless inning.
Oh yeah.
Like
the fact that she got that far.
Yeah. But yeah, Adley Rutschman, they're trying to give him a big contract extension, buy out all of his like controlled years and some. Worked really well with the White Sox with Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez. Hasn't really worked for the Mariners for Evan White. So but I mean, Rutschman is like a can't miss prospect. Evan White wasn't really that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He shouldn't take it, obviously, because he's a great player and is going to be one of the best catchers in the league.
And why would you spend all that time on the Orioles?
I mean, the Orioles got a farm coming up.
They have a farm. You're right. But you can
But
take
is the
all.
harvest gonna be good?
You can take all the cows and chickens and pigs you want, but you got to make them into MLB players.
I like my.
I like yours better too.
Yeah.
They have a farm, but is it gonna be a good harvest?
Yeah, that's pretty good. There's just really not a whole lot of good players on the current roster.
No.
Austin Hayes is solid. Anthony Santander, Cedric
Mullins
Mullins
is
really good. Trey
Come back.
Mancini?
Yeah, that's the one. Mancini's not bad. I like him.
Trying to think.
That's it. They got
Paul Fry is good.
John Means.
John Means, obviously. How do we forget about John Means?
Dude, can't forget about John Means.
You know who they don't have anymore? Chance Cisco.
Steve Harvey.
I think he's still with them.
He's not. He's a talk show. He's the host of Family Feud.
Who am I thinking of?
The Dark Knight, the guy who I was trying to say.
Harvey?
No.
Harvey Went?
Harvey was his last name.
Weinstein.
No. No.
Oh.
No. It's Harvey. Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey,
Matt
that's right.
Harvey.
The Dark Knight of New York. The New York Mets.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's baseball.
Steve Harvey, baby.
I completely.
Phenomenal baseball. It's like, who's he on now? It's just like, is there something I'm missing? So I'm pretty sure that's the host, but if he's a baseball player, then good for him. I guess.
I mean, if Jordan can do it.
Jordy?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Jordan can do it, so can Steve Harvey.
I believe in Steve. He can do it. He's got an excellent mustache.
Hashtag Steve
That's
Harvey.
all-
Family.
Hashtag Steve Harvey to the Orioles.
Make it happen. Yeah.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's baseball, baby.
That's baseball, baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
Basketball.
All right.
I
Where do you start?
have a lot of basketball news, actually. I'm really excited for this,
Sweet.
honestly. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with
Fun.
COVID? Do you want to start with
Fun news.
fun? Or do you want to start with trades?
Fun.
Or do you want to injuries?
Fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the fun news, that being LeBron James passing Alvin Robinson to move into 10th place all-time in steals, and also passing Oscar Robinson to move into 7th place all-time in assists. I mean, you can't talk enough about how good LeBron's his career has been.
The three goats of basketball: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Hayden Raymer.
Yeah.
And he just continues to move up all these leaderboards. I expect him to move up more as his
Oh yeah.
because he's got gas in the tank. Another fun story: Klay Thompson. I'm not sure if you guys know who that is.
He was the injured guy, right?
He was hurt.
Yeah.
He hasn't played. He made his debut on the 9th against the Cavaliers. He's on the Golden State Warriors. He hasn't played in 31 months. He hasn't played
That's like what, 2.5 years?
since COVID was a thing. He has not played a single game.
That is.
Yeah. This man has not played since the 2019 finals. So that was like February. No, it wasn't. It was 2018 finals. So that was June of 2018.
Yeah, I didn't even know you guys. That's so long ago.
Yeah. He made his debut. He's one of the best shooters of all time. He put up 17 points in 20 minutes. It's really good to see him on the court. He tore his ACL in the finals, and then when he was just about to come back, he tore his Achilles.
Oh.
So he is 2 season-ending injuries in a row
Yeah.
is what hit him, and that sucks. But because he's an amazing player, but he's back. The Warriors are back. It's so glad to see him back on the court.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you want next? Do you want fun news? No, we already did the
We
fun
already
news.
had fun news, I thought.
What's next?
Let's go with trades.
Trades.
Trades. You do. Cam Reddish on the Hawks was traded to the Knicks in exchange for Kevin Knox and a protected 2022 first rounder. Also in that trade, Solomon Hill and a 2025 second rounder were sent to the Knicks, but the headlines were Kevin Knox and Cam Reddish and the 2022 first round protected pick. For those who don't know, me and Hayden were having a discussion about this earlier, protected first round picks. What this basically means is that if that protected pick if that pick is a lottery pick,
Yeah.
the Knicks get that pick back and the Hawks get next year's pick instead. So it's saying, hey, if we suck so bad
Yeah.
that we are in a prime position to draft someone, we're going to be able to draft someone. But because we gave you a first rounder, you get the next one.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing. I think that's fun. I like the way that works in the NBA. There was one more trade, but it got voided due to one of the players failing a physical. The trade would have been the center Bol from the Nuggets.
It's fun
So
name.
funny.
Bol.
Bol.
You just keep saying his name over and over again.
Yeah. He would have been traded from the Nuggets
To the Bulls.
not to the Bulls, but that would have been fun.
I get it.
To the Pistons. And they would have given up Rodney McGruder and a second rounder. But it doesn't matter. Trade was voided. Bol, son. No. What's he's the son of a legendary, another basketball center. He's like 7 feet tall,
I like him.
Very lanky.
Yeah.
very big man. So, I mean, good presence to have, right?
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Injuries.
Injuries. Damian Lillard, one of my favorite players in the NBA.
Trash. I'm better. Chris Middleton better.
Okay. Damian Lillard is going to have surgery for an abdominal injury. He's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. He and CJ McCollum have been in and out of the lineup with injuries all season, which is part of the reason why the Trailblazers have been struggling so much.
Grizzlies better.
Yeah, this season they are.
Yeah.
So it sucks to see that. We give him well wishes on the way in the healing process, and excited to see him back either in the playoffs or next season, or later this season. Excuse me. Do you remember when we were talking about DeMarcus Cousins? Do you guys remember that?
Is that the player who? No, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, earlier in the season, DeMarcus Cousins was signed to the Bucks. He's a center. I talked about how it's a low risk, high reward kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I didn't like the signing. Well, he got waived. He's old. He's a little slow. He's not playing as good as he could. So he was waived earlier this week. So unfortunately, I'm sure he'll get scooped up by some team. He was a superstar. Him on reputation alone, he'll get scooped up somewhere. So I'm not too worried about him. And last but not least, for the NBA, we have some COVID news. Now, COVID's been sweeping the NBA. It's been a big issue. So in order to help just a little bit, the NBA and the NBA PA have decided to continue daily COVID tests for all non-boosted players through the All-Star break, which is coming up right around the time of the hockey All-Star break, which I believe is in early February. Yeah? Do you not know?
No, I don't know.
All right, cool. That's what I got for basketball. You know? Yeah.
You sped through that, Jeremy. Good
I
work.
did speed through that. I wanted to say more about it, honestly.
Well, what else do you have to say?
Yeah.
I don't have much more to say.
I want to shake your hand.
Why are you shaking my hand?
So you did a good job.
Thank you, Hayden. I
You're
appreciate that. Football.
Yeah.
Football time.
Okay.
There's a lot to talk about there.
All right. The season is over. Before we get into anything, I want to go over my spreadsheet.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear
Good
about this
story.
too.
For those who don't
Yeah.
know, I put together a spreadsheet at the beginning of the season predicting every single game of the NFL season. And I just kind of want to go through and see how I did at the end of the day. So my final record was 149, 116, and 1. So I was getting the games right at 56% rate, 56.22. My peak was in week 6. It was in week 5, where I hit where my record was 50 and 30, and it was 62.5%. Ooh, excuse me.
You're excused.
I don't know what just happened.
Some
Zoomed.
spreadsheet issues.
Some spreadsheet issues. There were 4 teams that I got the exact record right. And that was the Chargers, the Packers, the Falcons, and the Dolphins. I'm very proud of that. And my playoff predictions were not perfect, but they were relatively close. In the NFC, I didn't have the Cowboys or the Eagles or the Cardinals in. But
You didn't have the Cowboys in?
no, I had Washington in. I had the Cowboys not. I didn't have the Cowboys. I didn't have them doing very well. I had them going 7-10. I was way off on that one.
Yeah.
And in the AFC side, the big surprise and the only thing that I got wrong
It's the Browns.
was the Browns
Yeah.
and the Bengals. I had the Ravens and the Panthers.
I mean, in your defense, Ravens win the Injury Bowl, so.
Sorry, I had the Ravens and the Colts. My bad. I had the Colts in there, which I'm very shocked they
The
didn't
Colts
make it.
should have made it.
They really should have
They
made it.
should have, but they blew it.
My Super Bowl teams are still intact. Chiefs, Rams. So yeah, that's my little spreadsheet recap. I just wanted to go through that.
I'm
You
so
know,
proud of you, Jeremy.
I'm honestly proud of myself. Anyway, that's my spreadsheet right there. Now we can move on to the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
The fun stuff being, hold on, let me just get these matchups up real quick. All right, cool. Predictions
Yeah.
for the NFL playoffs.
Gotcha.
Wild card round. First one will be Buccaneers versus Eagles. In the NFC, Cowboys versus 49ers, Rams versus Cardinals. Now, first game, Bucs Eagles. I have the Buccaneers winning this.
Yeah.
I don't think this is much of a
I
contest.
have the Bucs beating the Eagles too.
I don't know about you guys.
If Nick Foles was still in the Eagles, I would think he could beat Tom Brady again. But the Eagles don't have Nick Foles anymore, so there they lost all my hope. So
Right.
the Bucs should
Tampa.
wipe his team.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Cowboys 49ers.
I have the 49ers winning this.
I agree
This
with Shane.
this is going to be a really close game.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. But I think this is going to be the game of the week right here. This one?
Yeah.
Cowboys 49ers.
Heck yeah, one more.
Which one?
Rams Cardinals.
That's going to be a good game.
That is also going to be a good game. I
think both those teams are better.
but they're not as close to each other in skill, I think. I think both of those teams are better, but I think Cowboys 49ers match up better against
Okay,
each other.
Fair enough.
It's just my pick is more out of spite than anything.
Don't pick out of spite. We saw how that went last time.
Wait, yeah. My hockey predictions out of spite are not doing so well.
Right.
But, I just think, Debo's phenomenal season.
Debo is insane.
Yeah. So I think the fact having him on offense gives him a chance. And I just like the 49ers defense better.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
And
then Gallup got hurt for the Cowboys, didn't he?
Yeah, but they have Albert Wilson. He's good enough. He's a good fill-in. We already mentioned it. The last NFC game, Rams versus Cardinals. I have the Rams in this game. It's a very close matchup, but I have the Rams in this one.
I have the Rams too.
They split the season series, went 1-1 against each
You
other.
don't even have to ask me.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to ask you. I'm not sure. You seem to be going against Matt Stafford a lot recently.
Listen, I'm never going to go against my sweetheart, the love of my life, Matt Stafford.
I thought you were going to say Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray is pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
My short king.
Kyler Murray is very good
Yeah.
at football.
It's just that defense. Like
the defense has names, but they haven't been playing that well.
Yeah, but it's just that potential is there, and it's just so hard to go against. It's just the Rams have a lot of big names, and it's just hard to pick against those big names if they live up to their potential.
You know what they say, Shane? Potential
So
gets you
that's-
fired.
Yeah, potential doesn't mean shit unless you fulfill it.
I don't know. Keep going.
AFC wildcard week, Chiefs Steelers. Another one that's not that close. I have the Chiefs demolishing the Steelers. Big Ben's going out in a bang. Not the way he wants to, but he's going out in a bang.
Yeah.
Another close game.
Huge choke potential in that game, though. Like,
I
Chiefs
don't-
should win.
I don't think there's a way the Chiefs lose that game. I
It
really
just
don't.
seems like such a big favorability that something's bad. I don't know. I get this bad feeling about this game.
All right.
It's just I know Chiefs are supposed to win by a landslide. I have the Chiefs winning too. But I just got a bad feeling about it.
All right. Bills Patriots. This one's tough. I think I have the Patriots winning this game.
Yeah, Mac Jones.
This is another one that's going to be really good. If there's an upset potential, it's there.
I don't think there's really an upset there.
It's just it could go either way.
Well, the Patriots are technically the underdogs.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're the 5 seed.
Mm.
Bills are 4.
but it's not really
Or
that much.
no,
of a-
they're the 6 seed, and the Bills are 3.
It's not really that much of a.
I don't know.
And then Bengals Raiders.
I have the Bills. I just think it's a playoff game. I don't know if a rookie quarterback, if he can like live up to that pressure, and just Josh Allen's insane.
I don't know, man. Imagine the legend of McCorkle Jones.
McCorkle Jones. I can picture it now. Boston.
They're gonna make a movie about it.
They are. Mac McCorkle Jones.
They're gonna get Matt Damon to play him.
You know. But that would actually fit though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like it.
I know, right?
I like it.
It has to happen now.
It has to happen.
Wait,
But it's
okay,
the
never mind,
Patriots,
Never
you
mind.
can
Never
never
mind.
count
I
them
have a
out.
new, completely changed my entire playoffs prediction just for this movie. All right, keep it rolling.
In the last wild card game, Bengals versus Raiders.
We gotta
This-
go.
Bengals.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Our baby Joe Burrow.
Sure, bro, call me.
Okay.
Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford.
I mean, to be honest, I like this game just because both of the QBs are hot.
Derek
Carr.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Dude, Hayden and DeGoff, man.
What can I say?
I mean, I'm all on board with Joe Burrow. Derek Carr, you kind of lost me
Derek
there.
Carr. Just those eyes, man.
Those
Those eyes alone.
Dude, he's a California kid.
When I heard Derek Carr speak, I was so confused.
What?
Look at those eyes.
That
Those eyes alone.
that picture isn't doing it for me.
Okay. How about him smiling?
He just seems like a good guy, though. I will give him that.
He seems so nice. Like, okay, wait, here. I know what to do.
What are you gonna do?
I gotta find a picture when Carr had longer hair.
There it is.
There we go. You're not telling me. You're telling me no to that.
Dude, he's got the Shane flow.
You're gonna say no to this?
You
look at me and
can't
tell me that
sell
I'm
me.
wrong.
Okay. Anyways, continue.
Bengals Raiders.
Bengals.
Bengals, yeah.
Now, I think this is a lot closer than you guys.
No,
think.
it is.
I'm just surprised the Raiders didn't
Sure,
rate
bro.
her. Because usually, they were starting to rate her, and then they actually like finished and made playoffs.
Barely.
Barely.
We're gonna get to that because I want to
Yeah.
talk about that game.
Yeah.
I think this game goes to the Raiders.
hmm
Fair enough.
I mean, that's fair.
Like it's gonna be a close game.
It's gonna be a good game.
See, here's the thing:
This is the best game.
the Bengals, for how good they are incredibly inconsistent.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens
So
with
the
a
Raiders.
young raw team.
Right. These teams are both incredibly inconsistent, but the Raiders have been there and done that.
Mhm.
They've been to the playoffs. Not that they've done that, but they've been to the playoffs. The Bengals are a young team. They're inexperienced. Now, Joe Burrow has won a natty before. He's won a national championship. So he has the it factor. He can do it. It's nothing against Joe Burrow.
Mhm.
I think it's that defense. I don't trust their
Yeah.
defense. I don't trust their offensive line. I don't trust their defense. Both of those two units have stepped up massively this season, getting them to the position that they are. But I don't trust them to keep this, honestly. So I think this is going to be the type of game where the Raiders could pull it out.
I think this is either going to be the best game of all these ones we've talked
It's
about
going to
so
be an
far,
absolute
or it's
blowout.
going to be the worst one
Yeah.
by far.
Either the Raiders are going to win an overtime game, or the Bengals are going to beat them like 70-2.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the only two outcomes. We'll do the other predictions after the next week. I just wanted to preview these games. We'll get to we'll get to Super Bowl predictions. We don't need to go round by round now.
Okay, got it.
Super Bowl predictions. Hayden, you're very excited. Who do
Yes,
you have?
I'm so excited. Okay, so picture this. McCorkle Jones is taking on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. McCorkle Jones, played by Matt Damon, obviously.
Who's Tom Brady played by?
Mark Wahlberg.
I feel like it would make more sense the other way around.
No,
No.
All right.
no. I'm telling you, this would make the best movie, best sports movie of all time.
Okay, who wins?
I didn't think this far. I didn't get to that part of the movie yet.
Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, play this out in your head. Play it out loud.
Okay. So it's like super close game down to the fourth quarter. Obviously, it's a sports movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Patriots win.
Patriots win.
Patriots win. And then Tom Brady, he's like, "I'm so proud of you," and then gives McCorkle Jones a kiss. There we go. That's how the game's gonna play out.
Who plays Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick, obviously.
Yeah. Jonah Hill.
No.
Yeah.
No. You did not just do that to him.
It's Jonah Hill.
No.
Jonah Hill's the best.
Jonah Hill is an awesome actor. He's not a
Yes.
Bill Belichick.
It's too bad. We're gonna mess with the historical accuracy here a little bit.
What's gonna be your prediction, Jeremy?
I want to go to you first, Shane. I want to hear what you got.
I'm gonna continue on with the prediction I had at the beginning of the season. I had Chiefs and Green Bay, and I have Green Bay winning it.
All right. See, I have the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like Shane. I'm gonna keep my prediction from the beginning of the season because God, I love the Rams.
Yeah, Matt Stafford.
I love the Rams team. I love their potential. I don't think they're gonna make it.
Offensive Player of the Year, Von Miller.
Offensive Player of the Year, Von Miller. And Defensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp.
What can I say? I
I
know my sports
Yep, it's true.
better than Tom Brady himself.
So yeah, I have the Rams
I mean, if you
Chiefs.
think about it, you don't need a good defense if you're putting up that many good numbers. And the best defense is a great offense.
Exactly.
I think it's the other way around.
No,
Best offense is a great defense.
That's kind of the point.
Oh.
I don't even know how to read. All right. So
So yeah, that's what I've got. I've got Rams losing. That's all right.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good Super Bowl. I'm excited for these playoffs, honestly. There's a lot of really good matchups, especially in the first round.
So, next up, do you want to talk about biggest surprises of last week, or do you want to go into a
I want to just do a little season recap before we
Yeah.
do last week. Biggest surprise of the season. Do you have one, Aiden?
I didn't know I was supposed to come up with one.
I'm putting you on the spot right here.
I think the Titans and like how good they were even after Derrick Henry was hurt.
That's a good one, yeah.
I think that was a big surprise. I felt like going into the year, it was very much make or break with Derrick Henry.
Right.
And with him out and them still powering through and being really good, I think that's a big surprise.
Right. It's not even just Derrick Henry. The Titans actually this season were the most injured team in NFL history. They played the most players of all time on their roster because of how injured they were. And they still got the number 1 overall seed in the AFC.
So what you're saying is Baltimore has no excuse.
No, Baltimore has no excuse.
Yeah.
Did you see how Lamar Jackson was playing?
I didn't really watch a lot of.
Oh my God, Lamar Jackson was so bad this season.
Yeah.
He still got an all-star nod. I don't like that. He doesn't deserve to be an all-star.
Well, especially Mark Andrews though.
All-star
Holy
games
shit, he had a
don't
good season.
matter. It's all NFL, all NHL, all MLB, all NBA
Well,
teams.
they don't have. Oh, they do.
They have them all now.
Yeah, but Mark Andrews though, like the only player, one of the only players who didn't get hurt for Baltimore. Phenomenal season.
Mark Andrews is insane. And Tyler Huntley quietly had a really
Yeah,
good
he
season.
played well when he had the chance to play.
Yeah. No, he had a really good season.
Did you already say your most surprising?
I did not.
All right. Do you want me to go? Or
Sure, go for it.
So for me, it was the Miami Dolphins. When you start off, they were 1-7.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
1-7.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they were 1-7,
Uh-huh.
and then they win. They won 8 straight games.
Yep.
To go 8-7,
And then they fired their coach.
and then they fired their coach.
They
And it's just
fired their coach.
and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, that was phenomenal, the run they went on. Like, you just had
Yeah.
a really shitty bad start, and then you almost made it back. Like, you got a good thing going in Miami, and like he was the leader of that, and then you fired him.
Did
What
you
the
hear?
hell?
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is true, but based off what I've read and heard, that part of the reason why they fired him was because him and their QB Tua, right? Tua's their QB,
Mhm.
did not get along.
It makes sense.
Fair
But
enough.
I mean,
Brian
having a
Flores-
successful coach
Brian Flores is
more than
an incredible
Hey.
coach.
kind of
and I
not
hope-
QB.
I hope the Giants hire this man.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, they fired him. All right,
yeah. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, Vikings,
overpay this man.
Vikings, please get this guy. Both you and I are like, please get.
Brian Flores needs to go to the New York Giants.
Or the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, who would go to Minnesota when they could go to New York?
New York.
Yeah. My biggest surprise of the season is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, it's fair.
A lot of people had the Bengals being like one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
I had them as a middling team. They went and blew everything out of the water.
Yeah.
So smart.
They won the AFC North, which is something.
Well, we were big Bengals fans at the beginning. We really liked this team at the beginning of the season. Well, I did at least. I
yes,
don't
you
know.
did. You did. You were a bigger fan than I was of
Yeah.
them. But they were my biggest surprise of the season. My other biggest surprise of the season was that the Panthers sucked. That's something that's aged poorly for me.
Yeah.
But that's all right. That wasn't really actually surprising. That was just
Yeah.
You were overhyping them.
I really I felt solid about that pick.
I mean, you
did.
saw the
when they
again.
had Christian McCaffrey on the
Yeah.
field, I think they were 5-1.
when you had the potential was there, and then Sam Darnold. It was crazy because he was leading the league in rushing touchdowns at one point.
Yep.
Yeah, like it was that team had something going, and then your best player gets hurt.
Yeah. When Christian McCaffrey is on the field,
Yeah.
they are an incredible team.
Unfortunately, it's just he's not on the field.
Yeah.
A lot because injuries.
That was my biggest surprise of the season. Award predictions.
Yeah.
Real quick. Want to go down the line?
No, not me.
Not you.
Not me.
Okay, pick the awards then.
Offensive player of the year. Actually, I can do me. I think I'm good enough.
Okay.
I can do some, not all.
Okay, just tell me to skip. We'll start with the MVP.
Oh, okay.
Do you have that?
No, yeah.
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 Okay. I love your confidence. Who's the MVP this year?
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I like
Good
it.
choice.
I like it. What about you, Shane?
I have Aaron Rodgers.
All right. I have Tom Brady.
That was my number
Now-
2.
These three guys, I think, are definitely the top 3
Yeah.
for MVP right now. I'm going to go through why I think Tom Brady is the one to win it. Starting with yours, Jonathan Taylor. First of all, he's a running back.
Yeah.
Quarterback bias, that's just how it is.
He also didn't make playoffs. Which
Yes. If they had made the playoffs, I think it'd
Yeah.
be Jonathan Taylor. Honestly, I really do. Aaron Rodgers. The reason I don't think it will be Aaron Rodgers is because of the whole COVID fiasco.
situation. Yeah.
Yes. He insulted the media. He lied to the media.
Yeah.
And do you want to know who votes on the MVP?
The media.
It's the media.
And do you know who the media loves? Tom
Brady.
fucking Brady.
Right. So for that reason, just because of the process of elimination,
Yeah.
I believe Tom Brady will win the MVP.
And then he also
this year.
led the league in passing yards again too. So
He had
it's amazing.
5,000 yards. That's insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's awesome. Offensive player of the year.
Cooper Cup.
Got anyone? Cooper Cup. Who do you
I
have?
can just keep the same answer, can't I?
There. Yeah, you can.
I'm going to do that.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
All right. So I was actually torn between Cooper Cup and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Because these two were clearly the options here. I didn't even choose one. I did slash.
Yeah.
Because I was so torn on this one. I think I'd go with Jonathan Taylor because he's third in MVP voting here.
Yeah.
If Cooper Kupp had gotten, what was it? He was like 50 or so yards away from breaking the single season receiving record. If he had done that, I think it's his.
Yeah.
I think he's MVP too.
Well, I think
don't.
the fact that he came that close was kind of what brought it for me.
Right.
And again, I know Jonathan Taylor, his team didn't make playoffs.
Right.
That's kind of another big thing. But you can't really choose your team. But it's just the fact that game after game, Cooper Kupp was just putting up these insane.
Right, and
numbers.
that's why I'm so torn between these
Yeah.
two, because these two are clearly far and away the only two options here.
Yeah.
But because he didn't break the record, and because of how dominant because of how important Jonathan Taylor was to the Colts.
Yeah.
The Colts win as Jonathan Taylor win. If he didn't go, the Colts lost. And that's why I think he was the offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I know in MLB, it's very much you're moving away from that whole like, oh, you didn't make the playoffs, you're not a thing. Is that still very much a thing in the NFL?
I mean, I'm sure they're trying to, and that's why they do the voting before the playoffs start, so they don't take into account the playoff stats.
Okay.
Because they used to do voting right during All-Star break before the Super Bowl, but they do voting now
Okay.
instead. But I mean, back of the mind, obviously, that's still going to be a subconscious thing. These are people that vote on it, you know. If there's a close race between two people, they're going to go, well, one of these guys' teams made the playoffs, and that's probably going to give them an edge, you know.
I disagree, but
All right,
to each their own.
each their own. Defensive player of the year. Do you have?
No, I don't.
You don't have.
I have TJ Watt.
Yes, TJ Watt is the defensive player of the year far and away. He tied Michael Strahan's single season sack record.
Playing less games.
Yeah. So that's insane. He's very good at football and definitely highly deserves this award.
Yeah.
On to the rookie awards. Offensive rookie of the year. Who do you have?
Chase.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
I also have Jamar Chase.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Mac Jones.
Well, I'm not going. He didn't do enough.
Gotcha.
If it was close, I'd go with Mac Jones, but he didn't do enough.
Because I know he started to get the lead, and then towards like the end of the season, he kind of faltered.
One was on my fantasy team, the other wasn't.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase, his stock definitely rose after beating Kansas City.
Right.
Yeah. That game kind of just.
Yeah.
Made him run away with it.
Yeah. I mean, quarterback bias is always going to be part of it. If it was close, it'd be Mac Jones because quarterback bias. But I do think.
Like with how Justin Jefferson didn't get last year, but Herbert had a phenomenal year.
Yeah. Defensive rookie of the year.
Is it Micah Parsons?
Yep. Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons, yeah.
That's the Cowboys player, right?
That's the Cowboys player who's
Micah
really
Parsons. Micah Parsons is even in the run for defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Just not even rookie player.
Yeah.
So he's insane. That's another one that's not close. The only contested races, I think, at this point, MVP and the offensive rookie and offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I forgot to do comeback and head coach, but go ahead. What you got?
Comeback player of the year, I had Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Big Joe Burrow fan, came back from that injury, and then everyone was like, oh, O-line hasn't improved. He's not going to be as confident because of that injury, and he just proved everything wrong.
What?
Didn't Dak come back?
Yeah, Dak
yes.
also came back from an injury.
Yes.
That's probably going to be my pick then.
But like Dak was also a more experienced quarterback.
He's also on the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's also on the Cowboys too. So Spike, and then he has a better offensive line. So
what I mean by that is that he's also on the Cowboys, and he's going to get that Cowboy vote.
yeah, that's true too.
So those are the two options. I agree. You guys have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And then coach of the year, who do you have?
I have Zach Taylor
You have Zach Taylor.
because so again, there's a lot of good options there, but I think I did not expect the Bengals to make the play. That just caught me so off guard.
Right.
So just having that there, I think he deserves it because of that. I know Tennessee's coach was up there because the amount of injuries he had, and they still
That's who I
first
have.
place in the league.
I have Mike
Like if
Vrabel.
I didn't like Zach Taylor so much, I would have picked Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I got Mike Vrabel winning coach of the year because of all the injuries he had to deal with. I'm not sure if you have one. I'm sure you don't have one.
I knew that, but we're retarded. I barely know the names of the players in the league, guys. The head coaches.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll go into some
Jonah Hill.
week 18. Jonah Hill. Bill Belichick actually would be a good.
Yeah, he's up there.
Jonah Hill.
Okay,
We're gonna talk about surprises.
I want to talk about how crazy last week
last
was
week
in
was
football.
nuts.
First of all, the two worst teams in football won games.
Trevor Lawrence.
That being the Jags and the Lions.
And crushed the hopes of the Colts playoff.
Yeah.
berth.
The Jags absolutely demolished the Colts. The Colts stood no chance. The Colts were winning it, and
Yeah.
they are not in the playoffs right now because they could not beat the worst team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Back-to-back first overall picks, baby.
Back to back.
Take that,
Got him.
Kyle.
Oh,
I miss you so much, Kyle.
he's not watching.
I know he's not. That's what makes it even more sad.
And then
Houston. Did Houston win?
Houston lost. No,
All right.
the Titans secured the number 1 seed with Houston. The Lions won.
The Lions won, yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is an incredible wide receiver. I'm sure you remember Amon-Ra St. Brown, Shane. He broke the single season reception record and the single season receiving yards record in Lions history for a rookie.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, Calvin Johnson played for Detroit last time I checked. So I was
He
wondering
did.
where that record was going.
Yeah. No. He broke the rookie records, and that's
Okay,
awesome.
yeah.
The chemistry. He's playing with guys like Jared Goff and Tim Boyle, and he's still putting up numbers, which
Jared
is insane.
Goff is not,
He's not a good quarterback, Shane.
but he's not.
They had some
Awesome.
random guy just come on the field, and he was better than.
They
Jared
had a
Goff.
wide receiver throw a better. They do all the trick plays. I am convinced one of the wide receivers is a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
It's true. I watched the play. It was in a beautiful throw. It was. I thought Matt Stafford was on the Lions for a second. I was so confused.
Yo, back to the Lions.
Back to the Lions.
And
Matt Stafford plays wide receiver for the Lions now.
I mentioned it earlier. Debo Samuel is insane. Oh my God. This man is so much fun to watch. First of all, he's an incredible receiver. And then halfway through the season, he just becomes one of the league's best running backs. Okay, whatever. And
What
then
can this man do?
today, or last week, he's like, you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't become a quarterback. And you know what he does? He goes and throws a dime, like a 30-yard touchdown pass to like take the lead in a game that they had to win to make the playoffs. Debo Samuel is insane. I don't understand. This man is so good at football.
He's the real league MVP.
Dude, he can do everything.
Yeah.
He is so good at football. And then final game of the NFL regular season. I don't know if you watched this game. Did you watch this game?
Oh no, I was working, unfortunately.
That is such a shame.
Yeah.
This was maybe the best game of the NFL season.
I've heard, like, I saw the recap. I'm like, what the? This has had to be scripted.
Insane.
Yeah, it was
So
nuts.
going into the game, because of everything,
Yeah.
all the craziness that
I
had
heard,
happened,
yeah.
if they had tied,
They have tied.
they both would have been in playoffs, right?
Yeah. And
So-
Steelers would have lost it.
Yeah. So a lot of people were talking about, we're like, what if they just took alternating knees the
Yeah.
entire game, right?
That's boring.
No, that would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious, but imagine how many people would be so pissed.
Everyone would
In
not be.
Pittsburgh.
The only people
Yeah.
that would be pissed would be Steelers fans. Literally everyone else in the country was rooting for a tie.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And then they didn't do that. But you know what happened anyway? This game went to overtime.
And it almost was a tie.
So just to get it to overtime,
Yeah.
the Chargers had to drive down the field under 2 minutes. You know what? The Chargers did not move the ball on downs 1 through 3 that entire drive.
Yeah.
They waited until 4th down, and then it was 4th down and 10, and Justin Herbert would pull some magic out of his
And then
ass.
they decided to get their shit together.
Boom. 2 seconds left in the game, throws a dart to Mike Williams as time runs out to tie the game and go into overtime.
And they were at some point, they were at a 4th and 20 in the red zone.
Right.
And it was just And then he throws like a 30, 40-yard touchdown. It's just like, what the fuck?
Right. It's insane.
Yeah.
That's not what happened, but
No.
but stuff like that did happen.
Yeah.
It was a really good game. And then we went to overtime. And in overtime, teams traded the ball. They both didn't get a field goal, so it was next score wins. Like 45 seconds left in the game. Raiders have a 3rd and 4 from like the 45-yard line. So they're just outside of field goal range. Clock is running at this point. The Chargers head coach, Brandon Staley, decides to call a timeout. This is what ruined the Chargers. The Raiders run, get a first down, kick a field goal.
They also
as time
stopped the
expires.
clock, didn't they?
I mean, they
They
stopped
ran
the
down
clock.
time.
They ran down time.
All right, yeah.
So there was like 4 seconds left.
And then they kick a field goal to end the game.
Yeah.
But what people in the Chargers were saying were, we were just going to let it go to a tie if he didn't call a timeout.
Yeah.
There was no point. We were just going to let the time run out. But instead, he dooms the Chargers, and they're not in the playoffs because of it, which I think is super interesting, right? That they were thinking, you know what, why not just end in a tie? We're in anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was just a really good game. It was really fun to watch. That was the best way to send off this crazy season. Ups and downs.
That season, I don't think I have had a season that didn't make as much sense as that one. Like the Titans record alone was when they beat the Chiefs one week and then they lose to Houston the next.
Yeah.
It was just like it was such a hard season to guess what was going to happen. And then Antonio Brown doing something stupid was
Antonio Brown. That's a yearly occurrence.
Yeah.
And the last piece of NFL news we've yet to go over is the coaches that were fired. We mentioned it earlier. Brian Flores was the big shock of the Miami Dolphins. He is one of the, in my opinion, greatest coaches right now because these teams clearly love him. He inspires so much effort. The players love playing for him, and that's something that's not easy to do.
Not Tua.
I don't even think that's true. I think Tua likes him.
That's not what I read.
Well, where'd you read it from?
I don't remember. I'll be completely honest.
Some obvious firings. Bears fired Matt Nagy.
You know how much your players have to trust you you're 1 in 7.
Most teams would shut down with that.
Most teams would be like, what the fuck does this guy know?
Instead,
look at where he got us. Instead, they rallied.
My computer's about to die. Hold on. I'll get back to this. You guys keep talking. Let me go get my charger.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I think it was the GM and Tua is what I read. Didn't like him. Yeah. And they're like,
I heard something about Tua too, about all the talks about trading for who's the Houston quarterback again?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. I heard they kept on trying to get Deshaun Watson or something.
Yeah, they did.
But if I'm the Dolphins, I get he's talented, but you really want to deal with the whole sexual assault allegations? The 20 or something women who have accused him? Why the heck would you want to put yourself in the middle of that and give up significant assets too?
It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
charging.
Oh, we're good, baby.
You drafted this guy, invest in this guy to go forward.
Good job.
Thank you. Yes, Brian Flores was fired. The other obvious coaching fires. Matt Nagy of the Bears was fired. That was supposed to happen after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Glad he finished the season. Good for him.
Yeah.
Helped the Giants have a better draft pick. Vikings, they fired Mike Zimmer. We were talking about it since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he was going to get fired.
So we're glad he's gone.
Thank God.
And then some ones that were a little surprising, a little less surprising than others. Broncos fired Vic Fangio, 3 seasons in Denver. Never really figured it out.
Yeah.
But I
Still couldn't figure out the quarterback situation.
right. And then the 2 ones that other than Brian Flores made sense but shocked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Texans fired David Culley.
What?
Yeah.
They were shit to begin with.
Right. They didn't really stand a chance this season.
Yeah.
They put him in a position to fail. And they were like, well, you suck. We're getting you out of here.
Yeah.
It didn't make a lot of sense to me. The players obviously liked playing for him. They rallied around him.
Yeah, and Houston did a lot better than I thought they did.
They were really bad.
Yeah.
But they overperformed.
They were competitive at least.
Right. They were competitive in a lot of games. And again, we were just talking about it with Brian Flores.
Yeah.
It's important to find a coach that your players want to play for.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that I think the Texans found.
Yeah.
In David Culley. And I don't.
And speaking of another shitty team, this is like the first time I feel like Detroit has some semblance of hope at it at the end of the season.
Right.
They, it seems like they found their coach. Like this is like the most energetic Detroit team I've seen in a while.
Well, they usually don't end with a win.
Yeah. That's also a good point.
And then the last coach firing, one that I'm happy about. Joe Judge was fired. And so too was Dave Gettleman, who retired, but he was gone anyway. I am so glad Dave Gettleman is gone. He is an awful GM.
God.
But the more thing that was more shocking to me was that Joe Judge was gone, because for all the criticisms he's got, I don't think he's an awful coach. I don't think he's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's an awful coach. But with all the other options that are on the market right now,
I would fire my head coach too.
I will give up anything for Brian Flores.
Oh yeah.
Giants.
The general manager makes more sense to fire to me because I know I'm not even a Giants fan, but whenever I paid attention to the draft, it always seemed like they reached extremely high.
Dave Gettleman is an awful GM.
Yeah.
He's not a bad person, but he's just a really bad GM.
Yeah. Because they always made weird picks drafting up really high.
Same.
The whole Daniel Jones thing. I heard no one else was taking Daniel Jones that high.
Right.
So why pick him there when you can just, use one of your later picks to select him later?
Yeah. And they had another first rounder in that draft. Which I would have been I probably wouldn't have been fine, but I would have been better off if they had picked him
using that other pick.
Using the 17th pick as opposed to the 6th.
Or trade back.
They traded into the first round later in that draft, and they had the 31st pick.
Yeah, and Max. Daniel Jones was still probably going to be there.
Probably, yeah. So
when you know who you want,
that's what they say, yeah. But look how it turned out.
We could probably look at that draft and saw the many other better players that were available that the Giants could have used.
Let's run through the quarterbacks in that draft that were available at that time, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
I promise you, Daniel Jones is probably the best option. Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I did not.
Drew Lock. I forget who else, but those were the three quarterbacks. I'd take Daniel Jones.
Well,
over
wasn't
them.
Kyler Murray?
He was taken first overall.
First overall, yeah. I was gonna.
That's why I didn't count him.
Yeah.
Because he was gone at that point.
And he's far better.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
Other positional players.
There were really good defensive players that I wanted them to get.
Yeah.
I wanted them to get Ed Oliver, who's currently on the Bills. But what's gone is gone. You can't fix it, right? But that being said, they've been fired. And now we move on to the playoffs. What?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. We move on to the playoffs. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be, we talked about it already. I think it's going to be really good playoffs this year. And honestly, it was an awesome regular season to watch, regardless how bad the Giants were.
Or the Vikings.
Yeah.
It's my first full NFL season to watch.
And it honestly was a really fun season.
It was the first time I played fantasy football too. That was pretty fun.
Right.
It wasn't fun for me.
Trust me, it had its highs and lows.
But that is a wrap on NFL regular season. We'll keep track of the playoffs, obviously, because that's a huge deal. But this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish all NFL seasons were like this, except the Giants being
and the Vikings.
No,
better.
we don't care about the Vikings.
Fuck you guys too.
Hey,
yeah.
represent
Kansas City Royals basketball team, baby.
But without further ado, I would like to move on to my favorite segment of the week.
I was right, the swords.
That was really smart.
Thank you.
Hayden's question of the week. Please take it away, Hayden.
All right, everybody. Speaking of football, we all loved on ESPN2 the Manning cast, right? In baseball, where they're like, you know what? The Manning cast, that's cool. Let's take the most unlikable person on this earth and make him have his own A-Rod cast. Alex Rodriguez is going to have his own Sunday night baseball ESPN2 type deal, and it's going to be awful. And I'm so glad he's off Sunday Night Baseball.
Okay.
But anyways, to the question.
I don't know how you expect Shane to answer this question.
No, I have Shane for
Yeah.
hockey. If they were going to do like a Manning cast type thing,
Yeah.
which two former or soon retiring players
Yeah.
would you want on there? And then Jeremy, if you can't think of any baseball people, you can do football.
Okay, well, football already exists.
Well, I mean, if you had to do somebody
Yeah.
other than the Mannings, like which two players would you do?
Well, I'll do baseball.
Okay.
I think David Ortiz would be very good.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think a second one, but I think David Ortiz would be very good in that role.
And David Ortiz would be great.
I can't think of another one. But he was the first guy that popped in my
Yeah,
head.
the first guy that popped into my head was PK Subban. Like, very energetic guy.
Mhm.
He's like one of the only guys in the NHL that actually has a personality.
Uh-huh.
And I heard he's already going to be a broadcaster as soon as he retires,
Yeah.
just because he's got the personality for it. So I think he's an easy first choice for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having trouble getting my second one, but I'm a big Paul Bissonnette fan. He's got an interesting past, but he's no doubt entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
very entertaining. So if you get him and PK Subban to narrate a game, just two on the couch, just shooting the shit, interviewing people, and just talking about hockey, I think that would be a very fun combo to see.
You know what I think would be fun for just basketball. I'm
Basketball.
gonna move because I want to ask you about
Yeah.
baseball. Basketball. I think Charles Barkley and LeBron James when he
Okay. I
retires.
thought that was going to go somewhere else.
What did you think I was
I
going to
think
say?
you were going to do Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal.
That's where I thought that was going to
First of all, that would be awesome. First of all, yes, Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Yes, that is a much better combination. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, but it's awesome.
Doesn't that like pretty much already exist?
Yeah, on TNT.
Yeah.
But they don't do watch-alongs and stuff.
No, they don't.
Uh,
Pre-game.
Yeah, I would love. I think Charles Barkley is hilarious. I love him so much. But I'll move the question to you for baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Man, I wasn't ready. I really like Ortiz. I just struggle to see like a partner for him, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Right?
The one I keep seeing is Andrew McCutchen and Adam Wainwright.
Ooh. All right.
Andrew McCutchen is just super smart, really funny, and Adam Wainwright's just a broadcaster. Like
Yeah, I was listening to Wainwright call a playoff game after
Yeah.
he got eliminated earlier this year, and I was like, all right, I like him. I like him in the booth.
Now I like McCutchen and Wainwright, but I really want to see Votto and Wainwright. Like I love me some Joey Votto. I genuinely think he's one of the funniest people in baseball. Yeah, I would love to see them two
All right.
do a
Yeah.
Manning cast
That
type
was
of
a
thing.
really good question.
Thank you.
Yes.
The original question was I was going to just make you guys eat spicy chicken nuggets. That was going to be no question. We were just going to stay here in pain. And then- but I was like,
I think that's definitely a good show idea. Like every time we screw up or go on to a next segment, we have to have like something eat, like a spicy chicken nugget.
too bad we can't have food in the radio.
Yeah, we
Broadcast
can't
booth.
have it.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Too bad. Dang it. Oh.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. We did an extra 20 minutes this time because last week's show was 20 minutes too short. And that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Only
Well, that we had a good conversation
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
we actually had stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week.
Last
Nothing
week,
happened.
forget that one happened.
It
But
didn't. It's off the internet.
it's
Alright.
not.
It's off the internet.
But thank you so much for tuning in. Remember our new time on the radio, which will be starting next Tuesday, I believe. Either Tuesday or the Tuesday after that will be from 4 to 5:30 on WXJM 88.7 FM and WXJM.org. As always, we will be posting it on YouTube. We'll go
You can
back.
always watch it here. And the clips.
Yeah.
Clips are fun.
The clips, there are going to be more clips as those shows because I have to actually go through in the radio shows and edit them, add pictures and stuff. Well, it's harder to find clips on this because I have to like download the whole VOD and then whatever.
You watch it, yeah.
But I'll go do that for this one because I think there's some good clips in here. Anyway, tune into the radio show. It's a much easier time to tune in. We really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night from Jeremy, Hayden, and Shane. Good night.